When I give a talk like this, I usually like to pull out a set of disclosures. And the standard disclosures, or disclaimers, are things like, I am not a lawyer, even though I'm going to talk a little bit about the law, and I don't know anything about a bunch of things. And in today's world, where artificial intelligence has become the focus of so many people, oftentimes people who are not in the field and don't have a great deal of knowledge of the details of the whole process. I like to have to say that I don't use any artificial intelligence in my preparation, but that's no longer possibly true. And so this is a no artificial intelligence I know about talk. The reason is that artificial intelligence, which was sort of a not very useful field a while back, has become quite useful. And all of a sudden everybody is clamoring to have something to do with artificial intelligence. My colleagues at Stanford a couple of years ago made a major switch. They all became artificial intelligence specialists and started studying ethics and that sort of thing in their spare time. In any case, one of the things I plan today is to talk a little bit about what's happening in the field of artificial intelligence and how it might affect all of us. Some people argue that only human beings can display intelligence, creativity, and wisdom. That is to say, artificial intelligence is a property of the humans. It's just not right, not correct, and not true. And that presents a major problem for us in the near term. The reason for this is interesting, and I don't really completely fully understand it. I think it's a question of hubris. We think that humans are somehow different and special from other life forms, or not life forms for that matter. And I think that this is cluttering up our understanding of how and what we need to do in order to make our lives somewhat better. Lots of people have been seeing the economic advantages of AI. Oxford study showed that something like 70% of the jobs in the world could be replaced by AIs and appropriate machineries for about the cost of a year's salary. So, I think we're all at risk. It's the first time in a long, long time that we've had a situation where a technological advance has improved the likelihood that a human being in the upper and middle classes has to worry about their job. There are people who see this as a dark side of the technology, and that's probably true. We don't know. We do know that there is another dark side of the probability of the technology. That is, people build AI devices that can create more information, and that information may or may not be correct. And that is a problem, and we're going to see a great deal of that as an issue. The different mechanisms for doing AI are all sort of related to studies done quite a long time ago. I remember when I first encountered the perceptron in the 1950s and was just intrigued with it no end, because here was something that sort of knew how to think. Didn't know how to think very well, but it was better than nothing. And so I spent weeks making my own perceptrons. As time went on, we improved the technology substantially, and it migrated from being a perceptron to being a neural network. And generative AI and large language models, which are the latest iteration of this, have proved to be remarkably functional. The reason I think my colleagues at Stanford shuffled off to be experts in artificial intelligence and machine learning was that they saw just how exciting this particular field can be. And today, you can sign up with OpenAI or any of a number of places to get your own version of an access to these systems, and you can build your own AIs to do particular tasks. Let me back this off a bit. There, the way the AIs work is that the encoder on the left knows about how to take information about where the AI is located and create a base of information which it can use to know what to do. And the gadget on the right, the decoder, knows how to take a query and look it up in this other database and how to construct an answer. It's a sort of simple-minded thing. Analogous to building a system which is able to decide what the next word ought to be in a sentence. It's what you'd use to do sentence completion on a much broader scale with many more parameters, but that's the idea. And it's not a complicated thing, but as I pointed out in the slide I just went back to, uses a massive amount of training data, and enabling it is possibly not legal, and it's possibly not infringing, or could well be not be infringing. That's led to a great deal of interest in taking the data and seeing how it's used, because it's possible that that data is owned by somebody and it could be monetized. In particular, the New York Times has filed a lawsuit against OpenAI, one of the supplier of GPT, and they are trying very hard to get the fact that the New York Times historical base of newspaper articles, which was used in the training of the OpenAI system, they want that declared as being an infringing use of the copyrighted material, and that is would give them a leg up in negotiating with OpenAI or receiving royalties. It's unfortunate that that's probably not true from the New York Times point of view, because the size of the New York Times database is enormously larger than the size of the encapsulated information that's used by OpenAI. The systems that are built these days are not completely stable yet, and this is unfortunate. The headline here came from a couple, 3 days ago in the New York Times, I believe, or perhaps the Washington Post, where the information that was generated by a instance of ChatGPT-4, the latest and greatest version, was answering the questions with total chaotic mess. It was just not related to anything it was asked. Likewise, there have been similar sorts of instances. A classic system which recognizes pictures, takes a collection of cats' pictures, and all of them are identified as cats save for one, and it's identified as guacamole. It's kind of strange. And then the other thing is that the chat GPT systems are really trying to please you. And so when you ask it something, and that something in producing an answer requires a reference to another source of information, it happily creates a reference to some source of information with a appropriately ambiguous title, and the information may exist, or it might create that document somewhere else, and you reference a document that it created out of whole cloth. This, which sounds like it might be just a terrible thing, is not so. It can be extremely useful if you're using it, for example, to learn about mathematics. The Sal Khan's Academy has put together a system called Conmingo, which is reasonably safe and accurate. It's a tutor. It builds on top of ChatGPT. It has a bunch of controls and mechanisms and a cooperative interface which fits the level of its users, which are thought to be people who don't know much about mathematics. That's a lot of people. And, and the skill level of the users, and it never provides wrong answers. It's a very nice piece of engineering, and shows the power that cooperative AI human software can have. On the other hand, we have the AI companies all voluntarily pledging to help prevent deceptive AI content from being created to disrupt voting. That seems to me a somewhat empty promise, but that's what life's about. Some time ago, there was a very interesting article, an open letter from a Future of Life Foundation, which suggested that the people, the signees, and I think there are 30,000 or more signees at the moment, would have the various companies like OpenAI to pause the development of systems more powerful than GPT-4. This has since kind of petered out. I looked at the list of people who signed. You know, this is supposedly AI experts. Turns out, not AI experts by much, though it did include signatures from people that are recognizable experts. It also included signatures from an enormous number of people who had just retired from their job, and the job was not AI related. Studies of legal cases like this particular one, which I don't remember where it came from, but it was an analysis of the top 5 cases. These are legal cases now. And the GPT was used to assist legal research and analysis. And the analysis that was created by the AI was flawed in some fashion. The fashion is different for everyone. On the other hand, ChatGPT is a wonderful tool to use when you're writing things and you ask it to write a paragraph about some topic, and it will create a thing, and it looks just marvelous. And the things it creates are, they could be produced by a human being. And in fact, if you take it, the articles produced by GPT, written by GPT, the works of authorship are not at all like what everybody else would write. Actually, they probably get the spelling and grammar better than we do. That's an interesting problem. The the ChatGPT stuff, let's go back here. This is sort of the crux of the problem. What the AIs do is essentially the same as that of the what a human being does. They learn from the material, they understand it by studying it in some fashion, they extract from the material that it studies some nut that allows the computer software to emulate intelligence, wisdom, and so forth. And that is a powerful tool. And it's not right to say you can't use this. The Copyright Office and the Patent Office reject automatically now things where the patenting agent, that is the person wanting the patent, the person who created the work of authorship, is not allowed to file for a copyright because it was not done by a human. The protections of intellectual property are human related. So the question is, who owns the IP in AI-generated creations? And I think that that is the thing that creates it, that we really should collect and allow artificial intelligence agents to create and do the same sort of thing that we do. Human beings are not that unique, and intelligence is spread across all life forms, even ones that are totally virtual and made up of electrons running around in a computer. Thank you very much.